Good Tuesday to you. I'm Storm Team 9 Meteorologist Patrick Ellis here with your ENC Weather Update. This one is for March the 18th, 2014. A dreary, wet, raw day across eastern Carolina thanks to that wedge setup continuing across a good chunk of the eastern 30 United States all the way through the Carolinas into Georgia and even into Alabama today. Now we are looking at this thing starting to erode, and by the time we head towards Thursday, the first day of spring, looks like it will be a little warmer and it will actually feel like spring, but how long does that stick around? Those details in the update video. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. There's our area of low pressure pushing offshore, and with that, keeping the clouds in place. Now, what you're seeing here is the switch over to the infrared satellite, and the cloud tops are so low today and so warm that they're just not getting picked up on the satellite, but needless to say, they are still there in full force, and you've seen that today across eastern Carolina. It's still some showers and some a little bit of drizzle still lingering around to the area. Looking at some of the reports right now, moderate mist up at at Edenton, as well as Greenville, Kinston, Jacksonville, Havelock, Hatteras. Moderate rain being reported up at Nags Head, and light rain showers in Dare County this evening. So, needless to say, we're still keeping with the rain and drizzle regime thanks to the very warm cloud layer that we have in place tonight across eastern Carolina. So, we'll keep with the drizzle. Temperatures, I don't think the model is handling the temperatures tonight very well. And most indications have us dropping at least to the upper 30s to near 40 tonight. I'm watching that closely, but needless to say, with the cloud layer in place, it's not out of the question that we could actually bump up a couple of degrees tonight. Not completely out of the question. I wouldn't be too mad about it, just because of the fact that it's been so nasty and raw. So what we're expecting tonight, I think mainly low 40s, but we'll be watching that back and forth as we head through the next couple of hours here across eastern Carolina. And once again, showers and a few drizzly spots still lingering around tomorrow. Low mid-50s for most areas, nearing 60 down to the south thanks to a little push of air coming up across the region through the afternoon hours tomorrow. Now, we do start to clear out by the time we head into Thursday, but there will be a chance for rain early in the morning, but not going to stick around for very long, and the temperatures rebound back into the 60s by the afternoon hours of Thursday. So here's the long range, and once again, there's your frontal boundary passes through here on Thursday. Brings us a chance for a shower. Clouds to start the day on Thursday, but the sunshine comes back by the afternoon. Low and mid-60s expected, and then high pressure builds back in behind the front. And it may actually keep us a touch cooler on Friday, maybe low and mid-60s again. And then our next frontal boundary approaches us from the west, and with a nice little blow-torching of southwesterly winds that day, we should be able to manage low 70s by the time we head into the first portion of the weekend. But that frontal boundary is going to bring us a chance for a few isolated showers, not many. Better rain chances in the forecast by the time we head into next week. All right, here's a look at the 12Z GFS run, and looking at tomorrow at 2 p.m. and a big area of low pressure off to the north, and that's what's going to kick off the next round of showers. Now, it's not going to be all that much. I don't expect to see much more rainfall out of this. Maybe a couple of hit or miss showers, maybe some drizzle again tomorrow because of that thick cloud layer that's going to be in place. And a warm cloud layer, you see the thickness values come way up and a nice little push of southwesterly wind by the end of the day. Now, we are still going to be under the influence of a little bit of this low pressure coming offshore, so that actually may try to keep temperatures a little bit cooler tomorrow in some locations, and you see that here. Little mini wedge basically here across South Carolina and up through the central portion of North Carolina, back up into portions of Virginia. And underneath that, the temperatures are a touch cooler. And you can kind of see that here, where there's this little node of colder air right where that wedge is still hanging on. If that's the case, then we're going to stay a little cooler, and some of our counterparts down to the south and west of us could get a little bit warmer as we head through your day tomorrow. Now, granted, that's looking at the afternoon hours. This is the maximum temperature through Thursday at 0Z. That would be 8 o'clock on Wednesday. We could make it as high as 60. There is the potential that we make it to 60, but I just don't see the best indication for that to happen because of the clouds being in place. I have a sneaking suspicion that we'll likely stay in the 50s through much of the day. And you saw in the precision forecast model, that's why we're forecasting low to mid 50s mid to upper 50s, and then low 60s down to the south, because I do believe that this area down here, say Duplin, Onslow, and Jones County, could be able to make it back into the low 60s through the afternoon hours of Wednesday. It's not out of the question, so we'll watch that. But needless to say, there's going to be another wide range of temperatures again across eastern Carolina, because there's going to be a lingering wedge that's going to be eroding through the day on Wednesday. Upper air energy is rolling through the flow at that point, and that's going to be clearing the board by the time we head into Thursday. Now, there's going to be a little bit of cold air advection here, but not a lot, and that's why I still think that we're going to be able to warm up a little bit on Thursday. Most indications have us getting at least to the mid-60s on Thursday. Some indications a little bit cooler, so we'll watch that. But needless to say, I still think they will make it to the 60s with that 546 line bisecting the state. That's the look on Friday, and mainly zonal flow, and that's going to keep us nice and clear here for the most part. Now, there's a little bit of energy back over into Texas that may be able to stream some high and mid-level cloudiness into the region late in the day on Friday, but I think we'll go with mostly to partly sunny skies. Now, the next thing that we're really going to be watching is what's going on up here. What's reloading up here? Cold air is reloading back up here to the north and west of us, and unfortunately it looks like that's coming southward. See the flow pattern just kind of going to be rotating around that. So in the meantime, we're going to be mild here in eastern Carolina, but that's kind of come southward. Here's a look on Saturday, and we're going to talk about that chance for a few showers on Saturday. I put in only about a 20% shot, and you see that the front that's going to be associated with is going to be mainly dry, though, as it pushes through here, and we'll kind of walk you through your Saturday, and not very much moisture there. Now, the GFS is a little bit more antsy on getting another stationary boundary to kind of lay through here on Sunday that keeps rain showers in here. So we've made the mention to keep that in there, but the Canadian and the European just not on board with that. Most of the ensembles with the GFS are not on board with that either. So we'll make the mention for maybe a shower on Sunday, but I just don't think that that's going to be the case. But I do want to make the mention of what you're seeing here. There's your 540 line coming southward again. What was I talking about? That big air, upper air feature up to the north is going to come southward as we head towards next week. Now, on Saturday, we're going to make it to the low 70s, but that energy that was sitting up here is now sitting here, unloading cold air into the eastern third of the United States again. And that's going to bring down our temperatures into the 50s. Now, some indications have us even cooler than that as we head through the day on Sunday. And kind of looking at that, you see the 540 line kind of edging southward through the afternoon hours. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw the high temperature early in the day and then falling throughout the rest of the day. As that happens, as cold air advection happens, look at that 1032 high coming southward too. Man, oh man, some more cold air on deck for us, and that's unfortunate because spring is on Thursday. Spring starts on Thursday, and the 540 line sagging southward. I think Monday we don't get out of the 40s, and the same thing on Tuesday. But look what happens on Tuesday. Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Area of low pressure offshore. Another wedge setup trying to get in here. You see the 540 line, some moisture in there. We're not calling for any wintry precipitation at this point, but needless to say, the cold air is going to be there. And that's, you're seeing that kind of a wedge setup trying to form again by next week. And then another area of low pressure rolls across the flow as you head into the latter half of the forecast period. I'm not really buying that look, but needless to say, I think the cold air is still going to be sticking around. So if you've been searching for spring, it's on its way for a little bit, but it's not going to stick around for very long, as you saw there with the models tanking the temperatures as we head into next week. And it looks like it's going to be a prolonged period through the end of the month of March. So unfortunately, the cold air still winning out here across eastern Carolina. That's going to do it for me here on the ENC Weather Update. You can stay up to date with this: Facebook, Twitter, WNCT.com, and a brand new Storm Team 9 app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Have a great rest of your evening, a great day tomorrow, and a great weather week ahead.